Meeting for Monday, January 24th. The first action is to have Miss Rachel Relaford join via phone, so I need a motion to accept her in. All right, Phil's the first, and Jennifer is the second. All in favor of having Rachel join via phone with the sign of aye? Aye. Aye. Those against with nay? Okay. Rachel, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Thank you so much.
All right. Next item is the approval of minutes. So your minutes are in the packet from last month's meeting. I need a motion to put that on the floor. Jennifer first and Jim Fennell second. All right. Any comments on the minutes? Anything to address, change? Jan always does a good job at keeping up to date on this. All right, no changes. Bless you. No changes. We will ask for approval with the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed with the sign of nay. All right, the ayes have it. Before I move any further, I'd like to acknowledge that Mr. Windish has joined our committee. Welcome, Matt, to have you on the committee. Looking forward to continued progress there. We'll move into the informational items. So the first one is the County Clerk. And the County Clerk, I see her coming up to her microphone. So she has her packet, got some year-end numbers to review with us.
Yeah.
Welcome, Rachel.
Good afternoon. I don't have any additions to the information that was sent out to everyone, so if you got any questions, I will try to answer them.
Any questions for Ms. Parker? All right. Had a good year on revenues from the County Clerk's office. Thank you for that and for the service. If no questions, we'll move to the next item. Next item will be the County Election Commission, Mr. Bride. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you for having me. A couple things I reported at the last meeting that we were in the process of redrawing the precincts. We've completed that process. We're now in the process of coding those, and then we'll bring them into our voter registration system. At the moment, we don't have that data in our voter registration system, but the precincts were redrawn and they were approved at a special meeting of the Election Commission, not Friday, the Friday before last. And you can see those new precincts. They're also posted on the same location on the county's GIS site that the new county board maps are on there. So if you open that site, you can look at the new precinct lines for that. They also have the state legislative and the congressional lines that we were working with, taking into account those precincts. To give you an idea, we went from 169 precincts down to 116 in Peoria County. We were able to do this primarily through the change in legislation that allowed up to 1,200 registered voters per precinct. We did also go from 58 to 56 polling places. The goal wasn't really to eliminate polling places. It kind of happened, it kind of ended up making sense just from where the precincts were at. But the primary interest was increasing the size of the precincts, but not necessarily changing the experience for the voter on election day. And then we think we've accomplished that. So that was the biggest change we've had in the last month. A couple things that I didn't touch on at the last meeting. I was invited to go to CISA, and now I'm drawing a blank, the Cyber Infrastructure Security Administration in Washington, D.C. I was invited by the State Board of Elections, Illinois State Board of Elections, to represent local election officials at a series of meetings in early December to talk about the State Board of Elections cybersecurity navigator program that Illinois implemented about 3 years ago, and is really a leading program that is being used as a model in several states throughout the country. So that was a nice experience to get out there and represent Illinois, and especially local election officials. The majority of the people at the meeting were either federal employees with CISA or state level. There were only a handful of local election officials, maybe 3 or 4. And then I was also asked to be on a new committee for the United States Election Assistance Committee. It's a local leadership committee. There's 2 representatives from each state on that. We had an initial meeting in December. We had a second meeting this month. It's still very early in its process, and it's a federal government, so we'll have 4 meetings to talk about how we're going to do meetings. So we've only had 2 of those, but I think it'll be a good experience. It's the first time that they've really tried to reach down primarily to local election officials through the United States Election Assistance Commission. And for those of you who don't know who the United States Election Assistance Commission is, which is understandable, it was set up in 2002 through the Help America Vote Act, primarily to be a group that puts together information and for local election officials, a clearinghouse of information. But they've also have a couple other duties. One is any kind of federal grant money that comes for elections comes through the United States Election Assistance Commission. So they've doled out about $5 billion in the last 20 years. And then they also are in charge of setting and doing the testing for election systems throughout the country. So federal certification is handled under the U.S. Election Assistance Commission. So that's all I really have. If anybody has any questions for me.
Questions from Mr. Bride? Okay, seeing none. Thank you for the update, Tom. We will now move to the Supervisor of Assessments Board of Review, and Mr. Dave Ryan. Welcome, Dave.
We don't have too much new to report from last time, other than the Board of Review will be done this week is their last week. They're hearing some exemption hearings, so they'll be finished with the 2021 Board Review complaint season. The senior freeze forms, they should probably be out by the next time we meet. I've kind of been holding off for a couple weeks on that. Hopefully this new variant will peak soon. We don't want a lot of people coming in, but they do seem to come in right away when we send those out. So hopefully we'll wait a couple weeks on that and then we'll get those sent out for 2022 senior freeze forms. Other information is just as a reminder to your constituents as we get into 2022, the later we get in, and I'll keep you updated, it looks like we're going to start seeing some increases in assessments. And over the past several years, a lot of townships haven't seen either minimal increases or no increases at all. So that will be a little bit of a change from what we've seen probably the last 3 to 4 years regarding that. So other than that, if anybody's got any questions.
Questions for Mr. Ryan? Everybody's quiet today. I guess that's good.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
All right, we will move now to Treasurer, and we have Deputy Treasurer Ryan Sanders reporting today. Welcome, Ryan.
Hi, thanks. Also, not a lot to report on. I think I turned it off. Is that on? All right. We are working on finalizing the end of the year budget, or end of the year balancing with our bank accounts. We've also done some work to change the structure of our accounts to meet the best practice of the new finance software that's going to be implemented. We're preparing to send out mobile home tax bills in March, and we had our first visit, or initial field visit, with the external auditors from Sickage. She met with our staff and familiarized herself on some of our processes that they're going to be looking into. And that's really it.
All right. Any questions from any of the committee members? All right. One item, normally we have a resolution for property transactions. We did not have those in for this packet. There are some property transactions between the trustee and the city of Peoria. So our treasurer will put that together, and we'll ask for a poll vote when that comes up before the next next full board meeting. Does anybody have any objections to doing a poll vote to transfer that to the full board for a decision? Yeah.
I just wanted to do a quick reminder. We use the term poll vote, and just a reminder that that is simply asking if you agree to let that go up to the full board without a committee meeting. It's not an actual vote on the item itself. Just a reminder, because of OMA, you can't obviously vote over email, and we use that word, but I just wanted to make sure, a piece of education for everyone, that you're really just giving your consent for that to go up onto the agenda to the board.
Thank you, Jenny, for that. That's a great clarification, because we always speak of poll voting, but it's really, as she stated, agreeing to let the full board make a decision. We're not making a decision as a committee remotely or without a meeting for OMA. So any other questions for Ryan here on treasurer side? All right, thank you, Ryan. The last item is Veterans Assistance Commission, and Mr. Brooks is not here today. Oh, we do have a, sorry, I missed you, you sneaking in. All right.
Hi, I'm Trisha Collins, Michael's assistant. Thanks for having me. It's been a while.
Yes, welcome, Tricia.
So to recap real quick on what Michael sent you last month, unfortunately we were not able to make it because we did have some positive in our office due to COVID, and we didn't want to spread that with you, so we decided not to come. We still are doing limited in-person appointments. We do have the ability with our new system to email, digital sign forms for veterans. I did also, and I'm sorry if this is late that you're just getting that. I didn't know if he included it last month to you or not, which is our annual report to the governor. And then if you had the opportunity to catch the link, WMBD did come into our office and do a short little stint on our veterans and what type of benefits that they are missing out on. And so hopefully you got to review that. We have had several calls from that clip, which is increasing our number of veterans coming in. Unfortunately, last month we lost one of our chairmen, Tom Skaggs. He did pass away, so we will be having meetings to appoint new representatives. Let's see. So going over our annual report, basically we do advocacy. If you have any questions on that, and I can answer. And then to report, new benefits that we brought in is over $6 million. Those are benefits to veterans, their dependents, and families that we assist in filing for through the Department of Veterans Affairs. And then ongoing benefits is over $39 million that we continue benefits for the veterans. We have included a little bit of glossary about our office, our staff that we have. We currently have 7 employees. 6 of us are accredited veteran service officers. That means we are able to see into the VA system and not go at the claims blindly for the veterans, which helps us get our, the claims done faster, and also see what they've already done and make sure that we're not duplicating services. We also included our contacts for our assistance commission, alternate and delegates of local posts. We are now going out to local posts and having our monthly meetings, and those are held at different locations, and we decide that each month. We included our yearly report of forms that we complete for veterans, and then how much financial assistance that we have done with the reference on the back.
Great.
Any questions?
Thank you for that update and providing us copies of the annual reports. Any questions from any of the committee members? As always, Tricia, we really appreciate all the work that VAC is doing for our veterans, and keep that up.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you. We now are to the point of miscellaneous. Anybody have any items for miscellaneous? Okay. I would like to just recognize our new CFO, Ms. Heather McCord, over here sitting quietly. I think some of you have met her before, but just to acknowledge her in the committee meeting and thank her for joining Peoria team here in the Peoria County, so appreciate that. One more round, any miscellaneous? If not, we're adjourned. Thank you.